Thank you very much, sir. I also appreciate you knowing where you are coming from. But I can assure you we will overtake Lagos. The politics of accommodation, I can say that it has fared very well for us, even though I must be very fair to the federal government in not being selective in dealing with state governors. They may be selective in other things, but in dealing with state governors, no governor will say that an APC governor got something and PDP governor did not get. And I tell you the example of Paris Club that was released to Oshun. Immediately, other governors, got their own. And so I can say that. So I will not say that the assistance we get, like in agriculture, from federal government is because we are not criticizing the president. No, because other states also got the same thing, But it's just my nature and upbringing, to respect others and respect, constituted authority, and to fight those who do not have respect for constituted authority. And that's what I'm doing here very well, to make sure that when God calls you, He said to Joshua, be courageous, So I'm being courageous to make sure that this job that God gave to me, I don't allow the devil to come in between it. This is, very important. In a conflict border peace, it's actually for settling the internal crisis of the state. We have the office of the deputy governor, statutorily and constitutionally, empowered to do this. And I was a deputy governor, and I worked very hard, and he's working extremely very hard in this regard. Just a few months back, about 2 months, we had our final, what I can say, the icing on the cake, with the governor of Cross River State. And we, both governors and our deputy governors, agreed on how to settle this case, finally. And the agreement is that we should institute what we can look at as, a tribunal, or arbitration panel, if you like. And so Ebonyi people will prepare all their claims, with supporting documents, colonial masters maps, judgments of Supreme Courts, High Courts, and everything, and then package it and give to Cross River. And Cross River will do the same thing to us. And so we will now study it and then appoint arbitrator, each of us. And then NBC will be part of the arbitration, and then they will appoint the third arbitrator. So these arbitrators will go into meeting, and the communities that are involved have also signed that whatever is the outcome of this arbitration, that will be acceptable to them. So I think this is the way to go. And I will recommend it to other states that are having similar problems, so that you have power of attorney from the community leaders, that whatever that comes out of this arbitration, will be binding, because life is lost. And this crisis, dates back to about over 100 years, So we are working very hard, and we are building, about 1 kilometer bridge across Uferepe in the local government. And the Cross River governor, is going to build the road to link to existing federal highway there. And so through that, we also intermingle, to show solidarity and love amongst, The same thing we are doing at Afib axis. We are building, 500 meters, sorry. The other one is 1 kilometer of bridge. The other one is 500-meter bridge, across to link ourselves to the Cross River people, and they will build road. So we have addressed the praise in this regard. So this is what we are doing. But the Border Peace and Father Wanley's Religious and Welfare Department statutorily are to settle internal crisis, quarrels between brother and brother, local government communities, and so on and so forth. And that's the essence of that. And for this, we're grateful. And let me give that honor to the former governor. He is the one that curated our ministry, and we are maintaining it. Even though he's not with us, he's in opposition.
All right, thank you very much. The next question will be from Chukwusakuna. Please do it briefly. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Your Excellency. For those who know me, there are very few people who have done more road trips or who do more road trips than I do. Even I had to drive from Abuja to Ebonyi. And with all sense of responsibility, I want to say that Ebonyi has one of the best road networks in Nigeria. That said, Your Excellency, we also know that Ebonyi has one of the least allocations in Nigeria. This brings me to my question. You're a member of the Governors Forum, and daily we are regaled by stories of governors who cannot pay salaries. And here we are in Ebonyi, not only do you pay salaries, you also pay bonuses at the end of the year. Your Excellency, don't you think that you are being selfish by not sharing your formula with your colleagues? Is it because you just want to keep this formula to yourself? You don't have money, you're able to do these things, and you are yet able to pay extra at the end of the year. That is one. Then secondly, your Ebonyi used to be notorious for cholera and guinea worm scourge. So it's a thing of joy that you are partnering with an American pharmaceutical company to start making drugs in Ebonyi State. But the question is this: we know how these things work. How do you intend to fund this laudable medical program? Will the drugs be free? Will they be subsidized? Because we know that from my state, Anambra State, we have a lot of notorious drug dealers. Won't these drugs end up in Onitsha market? Thank you, Your Excellency.
Thank you. Wonderful questions. Thank you very much. Thank you. One thing the governors don't do is that, they emulate one another. They don't compete unfavorably. I've gone to other states, like I stole the mushroom factory we have from Abia State, and I'm happy for that. I've, sent people to go and understudy what Governor Rufai is doing in Kaduna State. I've sent people to Lagos State. I've sent people to Jigawa State. I've sent people to Rivers State, Niger State, Enugu State. So there are a lot of things that we do that I stole from other governors. And KB State, my good friend and brother. And so the governors have different challenges and different grades. The other people that may be doing tremendously better than me in other areas, I wouldn't know. But I am simply solving the problems of my people. I'm solving it the way I made it, and that is what I'm doing. Let me say that every month what we do is to, when allocation comes, before it comes, we pay every 15th of the month. So allocation comes, at the end of the month, and then, so what we did was to go to the bank, and we got facility from the bank in overdraft. What I hate most in my life is to pay bank interest. And our bankers know very well that if my money is staying 24 hours, it should yield interest to the government. And I can say that by fixing our public funds, even some institution we call say we don't fix this money. I say, why? Is it your money? That you have oversight function over it doesn't mean that so I fix it, and since I came on board, I've made interest by fixing public funds of over 3 billion. Over 3 billion. So these are some of the ways, you can see what 3 billion can do for me in terms of infrastructure. This is very important. And if I fix it and I'm running low, I will borrow overdraft. So if I'm fixing at 13%, you give me overdraft at 17%, 2% additional. And the moment then I will be revived. But there are some people that will go on borrowing money, and the money will be, you borrow at 35%, and the state is dying. So this is one of the ways we've been able to sustain this. And again, we give you contract, and there will be no variation. I changed the law that if there will be a variation in a contract of 5 naira, the governor must bring it to ESCO. ESCO must know we sign it. In the past, some people vary contract by over 1 billion, male commissioners, And so we made sure that there had been no variation in our stay since we came on board. Because we will not owe you. You put in certificate, we pay you. You delay the job, you pay what we call liquidated damages. Every week, by the level of your delay, there is a certain amount of money, percentage of the contract uncompleted that you have to pay us. So here, everybody is on the toes. And again, we have been able to turn Ebonyi State to a construction site. Everywhere you will see construction. If you go around, you've seen nothing by seeing what is in Abakaliki here. If you go around all the 13 local governments, you will see construction signs all over. And so this is how we are doing. So let me say we are learning from one another. And the governor of Delta State called me. I learned something from him in terms of fishery. And he called me and said, this concrete road, is it real? Edo governor also called me, is it real? So we are learning a lot, My friend Abia governor has come here. He saw the flyover. He's doing a better one than my own. So this is what we are doing. And we are very happy. The drug something, is not going to end in Onitsha because if you have we're going to computerize. And so, like it's done in overseas, if you go to any of our tertiary institutions, and you have, drug, while they are prescribing it, it is reporting at the drug center. So you just carry the receipt, and then the account number will also report there. So you just go and pay, carry the receipt and go there, and then, And why you don't see a lot of madness is because we ban tramadol. There are certain dance you will see that is a product of tramadol, So we don't have it here in Ebonyi State, and we also ban codeine and this thing, So it will not. We are, being disciplined and controlled very well. Thank you very much.